Good morning and welcome to Paul Runs Daily. Today's run is a little jog around the Yorkshire Free Peaks. I'm here with my good friend Rob. How's it going, mate?
Good, mate, good.
Yeah, it's now coming up for 10 o'clock. We were supposed to start at 9, but we've had a little bit of a delay. Weather's not looking too bad. So let's go and get the first peak done and dusted. See you all in a bit. So just up behind me is the first of the Yorkshire Free Peaks. It's Pen-y-Ghent. And it's a pretty decent start of the route. It's not too steep, but it's steep enough to get the heart rate up. My plan for today is to run as much as possible. Rob's got a slightly different goal. He's just aiming to get round, so he'll be walking quite a lot of the climbs. So we're going to try and stay together, so I may double back occasionally or have a bit of a chill and wait for him. We've not got any rush. I'm not going to break any records. Right, lad?
Yeah.
The Yorkshire Free Peaks is a superb challenge, and thousands of people complete it every year, many of them walking for charity and raising millions of pounds. The car park at the pub where we're based was pretty busy. It was packed, just a couple of spaces left, so we are anticipating quite a lot of people out on the trails, but I'm all for it. The more people who can get out here and enjoy this fantastic scenery, the better. And here's Rob, a couple of layers lighter. It is quite tough going this first climb. There's a couple of steep pitches and then a few sort of shallow runnable segments as well, so a little bit for everyone. It is a bit of a shock to the system for some, especially people who aren't used to being up in the hills, and quite a few people will turn back before they even reach the first peak. I think we've turned back once or twice because of weather and Rob's inability to perform.
Wait, we've never turned back because of weather.
We did.
We didn't. We peaked out and then took the shortcut back into Horton.
Right. Oh yeah, we didn't turn back. We just didn't carry on.
There's no point getting to here and turning round. You may as well finish.
Yeah. And once we caught the train back because of flooding.
No, we didn't.
Yeah. And that's quite a funny story. We got round to Ingleborough and we were struggling to get off the mountain. Everywhere was flooded, torrential rain, so we cut across on one of the roads to the pub at the bottom of Ingleborough and waited for the train, and waited and waited and waited until the landlady informed us that the trains were cancelled. So we ended up walking the 10 miles along the train tracks. Quite an interesting experience. We've just turned on to the Pennine Way for the final little scramble up to Pen-y-Ghent summit, and this features on the Spine race, which is a 268 mile continuous ultramarathon which starts tomorrow. Rob did the Spine, the winter Spine, When was it you did the winter spine?
Sorry?
What year did you do the spine?
2017.
2017. So he would have done this peak in winter and in the dark.
I only did the Challenger though.
He only did the Challenger. So just to put that into context, the Challenger is 106 miles. And how anyone can start that phrase with only the Challenger is beyond me. Right, I'm going to put the camera away, get this last little scramble done, and we'll have a chat when we get to the top. This is the summit of Pen-y-Ghent. It flattens out on the top. A lovely trail. And there's a trig point. So now it's a descent and then off to Ingleborough. Cracking views. Just ran down the steps and we're on to a fairly gentle bit of descending. Really good trails these, so you can actually make some decent time, and it gets a little bit technical further down, but it's all runnable. So this is a reward for the hard work of going up. You get to enjoy a little bit of free running, although you do have to watch where you're putting your feet. Some quite big rocks. Look. We're currently on one of the fastest sections of the Pennines trail on the Yorkshire Free Peaks, and Rob's decided to take his jacket off because he's overeaten a little bit. We'll get a little bit further down, he'll stop and put it back on again because he's a little bit too cold. Come on mate, hurry up. And just as he takes his jacket off, it started raining again. Probably a good opportunity to talk about my breeze windproof stroke fleece mid layer. Absolutely superb in these conditions. It's very quick drying, it keeps out the majority of the wind, and on a mild day like today it's probably preferable to a waterproof jacket. How are your feet?
My feet fine. I thought you were going to ask about my weight then. That's normally the first one.
I wouldn't dream about commenting on how fat you are. almost at the road section. A short transition over to Ingleborough, and then we start the climb past a Ribblesdale viaduct.
Whernside.
Whernside. I do get mixed up with those Yorkshire names.
I knew that would come.
Coming down into the Ribble Valley before we start the climb of Whernside. Just coming up to 15k in about 2 hours 15-16 minutes. Been passing some pretty large groups of walkers. Lots of people out on the hills today, despite the weather.
It's not that bad.
I'm guessing many of these people have booked this weeks and months in advance, so they don't really have a choice to make. They've got to get it done.
Whereas me and Paul are quite blasé about it.
Yes.
We planned this last night.
Yep. Just a casual 3 peaks.
Yeah. And 10 pints of lager.
Alcohol free for me. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but I no longer drink alcohol. It's been almost a year. Can you see the difference?
Looking down upon this land, I love the rugged terrain, all of the colors, the grit and dirt.
So this is the famous Ribblesdale viaduct and the start of the second major climb. It's been drizzling for about the last hour, but the temperature's reasonably mild. So I think a waterproof jacket would probably be a bit of an overkill, and you'd end up just sweating a little bit too much and getting cold that way. But we'll see, as we're climbing it may start to get a little bit colder, so we may stop to put the jacket on then. So we're almost at 18 k's, so nearly halfway. How are you feeling, Rob?
Been okay, good, better than I was expecting.
We did this route earlier on in the year in a beautiful winter's day, but we're well over an hour ahead of the time we were then, and we haven't really been pushing particularly hard. I just think Rob's a lot fitter than he was.
I thought you were going to say fatter.
I'll not mention his weight, he's very self-conscious. I don't think he looks as fast as he usually does today.
You're looking quite svelte yourself, mate.
Thank you, yeah.
You had to wait a while for that one, didn't you?
Yeah. He did mention it before, but refuses to mention it on camera.
An owl. Buzzard. Red kite.
Pigeon. Well, we've been climbing out of a valley steadily for a couple of k's now, and we're just about to hit the steeper section of trail up to the sort of a tabletop, really, this hill. So it's got quite a steep entry to it, and then a fairly wide plateau that we come across, and up you can see up towards the ridge there's a big long trail of walkers. So I'm guessing we're going to have some pretty slow traffic, but it's quite slow going, it's not really runnable, this section, and it's pretty wet underfoot compared to the climb up Pen-y-Ghent. Got rather wet feet. And we're officially at halfway. That's 19.5 k's. Two hours something, not quite sure. So potentially could do a sub 6 hour if we get a little bit of a shift on. I think we did it in 8 hours on the last day, but we did stop loads and we did loads of walking.
Oh, it's fine.
Well done.
Oh, Giles, I can just see your legs. No, you're not, you liar.
We've just passed a large group of walkers who were supporting a disabled gentleman around the Three Peaks. They had a modified wheelchair along with tracking what they were installing to get over, up and over some of the more technical terrain. So super impressive. I'm not sure if raising funds for charity, I didn't really stop and chat to any of them. But if you see this, any of you, well done guys. This is a single track. It's a kind of paved trail, and because of the wet conditions it's impossible to go on either side. And if you have a look, you can see the the amount of walkers, so it's pretty much impossible to run now. Not complaining though. It's fantastic to see so many people out enjoying the countryside. Pity about the views. We appear to be in the middle of a cloud. That was Whernside Peak, second of the Three Peaks. Not hanging about, it's pretty cold now. And I'm soaking. Don't want to stop and put my jacket on, I think I'll get too cold. So I'm going to leg it to the bottom, find a bit of shelter and put my jacket on.
It's open anyway. Got a pint. What was that? What was it? You got a pint?
See, always trying to lead me astray.
Cab! It's cab!
And this is the start of the final climb up to Ingleborough. The rain is pretty much in now, so the waterproof jacket's on. But we've got a nice little runnable section, and then it's steps up to the summit. So just over 10k ish, give or take, to the finish. I'm looking forward to my Mackies on the way home.
For every time you cry for me, girl. For every time you cry for me, I cry 1,000 tears. The morning you felt away.
I think this is just about the top, maybe a little bit further, but definitely finished with the technical stuff. Big queues on that last climb. These guys who were out walking for a cancer charity, and we started at 5 o'clock this morning, so we've been out for a long time.
None of them turn around and say, oh, go on.
You finished moaning?
Yeah. We'll take a few out on the way down.
Right, so that's, what's the name of that one called?
This is Ingleborough.
That's Ingleborough. So that's the 3 peaks complete. Just got to get back to Horton. Thank you.
Cheers, buddy.
We're getting a few breaks in the cloud, but it is a pretty grim, typical Yorkshire weather. We don't get weather like this in Lancashire.
No, of course you don't. You haven't got hills like this in Lancashire, mate.
Well, we've got plenty of hills in Lancashire, we just don't have shit weather. Right, so probably 40 minutes to an hour to get down, and then we might go and have a Coke in the pub. There's a hell of a lot of moaning going on. There's going to be some sore legs tomorrow. I think the sunglasses are a bit optimistic. In fact, I think I've pretty much nailed my kit selection today. I think you're going to be treated to a Rob coming over that sty very soon. Sounds like his footsteps. Here he is. Did you get the little groan? That groan is something that happens when you hit 50. It's involuntary. It's just something you do whenever you take your body outside of a normal range of motion. And on how far have we got left?
We're on 34k. So what's that,
5k, yeah. And what time are we on?
5:57.
And how long have you got for your PB? So 5k in...
All I've got to do is beat 8 hours.
No, you've got to beat 7 hours. That's the target.
Well, that's the target, but...
Yeah. So 5k in an hour. Is that right?
Yeah.
How are your legs feeling, Rob?
A lot better than I was expecting them to feel at this point.
Yeah.
I think, because I've essentially had 3 months off running. I've come and done Yorkshire 3 peaks. I would expect them to be dropping out at Ribblesdale, to be honest. But, yeah.
Did you notice I ignored you when you mentioned that about cut off?
No, I just said if we've got an escape route in case the weather gets really bad.
Yeah. Anyway, we've got another k and a half to go, so we'll put the phone away, put the camera away, and crack on.
Yeah. That's telling now, but that's it. What? 700 metres?
Yep. There's Horton train station, just about to cross the train tracks, and then we've just got a little jog down the road. And across to the car park. Oh, these steps are going to be nice for a few people, aren't they?
Yup.
Right, so that's the Yorkshire Three Peaks finished. A rather wet and drizzly day in the stunning Yorkshire Dales. 6:46 moving time. Reckon probably knock about an hour off that for waiting. So a pretty decent day's work. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Feeling good.
Feeling really good. My feet are not aching in the slightest. And I normally do. By this point, do you know when you take your foot off the floor and the blood rushes back in?
Well, normally you're moaning. Well, normally you've been moaning for the last 3 or 4 hours. And you've only really moaned a couple of times. So, yeah. I'm very proud of him, really. He's done well. Right, thank you very much for watching.
You're looking very
See
thin,
you all
you know.
soon.
Very svelte.
Well, next to you I would be.